welcome to the Denton Vibe with Diva Girl Ellie, powered in part by Classic of Denton.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me on the Denton Vibe with Diva Girl Ellie here at DentonRadio.com. And today I have the beautiful Stephanie Holloway to be here with us.
Hello.
And we're going to talk STEPHiAM and all the stuff she's doing and all the creativity that she pours into Denton. I'm so glad you guys are here joining us. Hello, guests. How are y'all?
Hello.
It's a beautiful day on the square. Everybody is enjoying ice cream, and
I
me and
know.
Stephanie are like, "Can you bring me one with sprinkles?"
Give me.
I know, right? Well, we better hurry up with the interview
I
so
know.
we can go get some ice cream.
Beth Marie's, we're coming for you.
I know, right? I really am craving Beth Marie's. Anyways, I need to stop. I'm hungry. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's beautiful.
It is.
Lovely in Denton. Thank you for having me on the show.
Of course.
Oh,
It's
I love
always
you
a
guys.
pleasure. And I'm so glad to be sharing some of your work with everyone here. And we're going to talk about Stephanie, the person, STEPHiAM, the artist, the photographer. And let's go ahead and dive into it. Tell us
Sure.
about yourself.
The many faces and the many hats of Stephanie Holloway.
Yes. We need a panel of all the roles you have.
A scrolling panel.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, yes. Well, I love Denton. It's been a community that's really just embraced, and one of love and one of art and one of culture. So I've really found a niche here. My company, STEPHiAM, I build websites for artists and small businesses and nonprofits, and that's really opened the door for me to work with some amazing nonprofits locally, including Thin Line Fest, our annual film, music, and photo extravaganza, which is a never-ending job in process.
Yes, I've seen that job in process. I don't know how y'all do it.
I don't, it really does take the village.
It really
It's
does.
Mindy,
Literally.
Yeah, it's Mindy spearheading that, and it's a
Yes,
village of,
yes.
of volunteers and folks. So
I actually dipped my hand in that this year.
Yeah?
I opened the door for people.
Yeah.
I did a really good job, y'all.
man, I'm telling you, the volunteer list for that's
Yeah.
pretty extravagant. But again, it shows you how willing Denton is to step up and really support art and culture. So it's been a lot of fun. It's opened so many doors for me to be able to work for restaurants and bars and everything from that to students at the University of North Texas and their art department, including professors that I work with.
Very
and
nice.
Multimedia marketing and social media. And you had mentioned photography, which of course carries over into every aspect of my life.
Every aspect. It just goes everywhere.
Yes, so I'm constantly posting something or taking pictures for somebody or, across the field. And
It was really weird when I guess when I first got a glimpse of Stephanie, I was like, okay, she's doing this. Oh, how cool. And then I saw you in MTD role and I was like, wait a minute, I thought she did this. And then I see you somewhere else. I'm like, okay, she must be a jack of all trades.
Yes.
And it's very hard not to be one of those jack of all trade people that just has their hand in everything. And especially
really
in that
is.
arena that you're in with
Yes.
all the roles that you play in the community and whatnot. So I know you're a busy girl.
Yes, and you had mentioned MTD, Music Theater of Denton, and that's been a
Yes.
passion of mine for the past few years. And I serve on their board as VP of Public Relations. So I manage their website and help with their social media. And so that brings its own world of theatrics with the actors and the actresses and the talent, the sheer talent that is drawn to Denton to perform for musical theater, and then also, of course, for Denton Community Theater.
Yeah.
We are so lucky, and
We really are.
and it amazes me. We've got folks that drive in all over DFW, and we don't pay them to do this. This is a resume building opportunity for them, and it really shows the spirit and the heart of Denton for them to come up and perform in a historic campus theater, which of course is just
it is a really nice
a little check mark on the resume itself, because that theater has been home to so many great productions, and again, we're very lucky.
Yeah, I am very impressed with the quality of the productions, and I'm not a critiquer. I'm not a Simon Cowell of production or anything by that means, but
all good reviews.
Yes,
That's
it was just an amazing experience, and I would highly recommend it to anyone. And I know MTD is on here. And they're going to be my forever guests, so they know that. I've already expressed that to them, and they're just wonderful. Every time I have anybody from the cast on here, it's just so much fun and so much work that goes into it. I mean, it is top-notch Broadway quality stuff.
Absolutely.
It's not a tiny production per se. It is top notch.
No, absolutely. You know, we've had Memphis, which we just wrapped up at the theater, and of course, Jonathan and Christian were in here to talk with you, and then before that, Evita with the leads on that one. So Kyle Christopher West is the director, and again, everyone is just you know, I have my hand in all of these different artistic communities of Denton, and I feel that I have the privilege of having this bird's eye view. Yeah. And it really is eye-opening to know that so many people support theater, they support art, our music scene. Get out of here. Yes. That is just amazing. Yes. Everything that happens at Dan's, and I mean all of our little local venues too. So and I've had a little bit of freelance work with the Dentonite in the past, and so that has opened my eyes to different all sorts of Andes and music and different stuff that you wouldn't have heard otherwise, even by because you get your choice of assignments, but it also goes along with your scheduling, and so you get to pick what you want to shoot, and sometimes you don't know who they are, and you're exposed to so many new things. Well, and as a photographer, it's live is its own beast. Yes. And stages and lighting and movement and bands, and now you're not concentrating on a single portrait session. You're actually taking in all the elements, and it's really driven me. Denton has been my greatest driver of learning and of being able to apply learned skills in the art of photography. You're very right about that, applying learned skills. And I think that's part of what keeps everybody so grounded in Denton is the fact that they're literally, because the majority of them are going to be students and whatnot, but they're like, I learned this stuff, let me go use it. And they use it right here outside their steps. Exactly. Or the courthouse steps, to be specific, right on the courtyard lawn. But you get to apply all of that. You're absolutely right. Yep. And of course, I'm finishing up my BFA in photography through the College of Visual Arts and Design at UNT, which again is just that throws in the gallery world, the museum world, the fine art aspect of art itself, which is another different vein. Which is its own its own little branch off of what photography can be used for, and documenting, and that sense of exploration drives a lot of my, not only my personal work, but my professional artwork as well. So Stephanie, you are a student. I am. Okay. And obviously you're working on your BFA, and then so what do you find as a student, as far as the challenges of being a student and then coming out and literally, like you said, putting it all to work, but because you're not just a student taking photos for an assignment, you're a student taking photos for your career, who's actually making the career as it's happening. Exactly. And sometimes people will wait till they're done with school and then they focus on their business side of it, but you're juggling all of that while being a student. Yes. And I started my business in 2016. Okay. And so it's been launching off the ground now, thankfully. Yeah. Successfully in the black. Nice. For 2 years, which is great. Good. That is good. So it is. It's this combination of, okay, what do I need to get done in order to support the community? And then what is my passion in terms of my finding and exploring the actual art side of things. So being in school, it definitely has its own challenges. I am fortunate because I'm very advanced in the program. So all of mine are very studio heavy. Yes. Everything is all about making the portfolio. I'm working on a series, and I have been for the past couple of years. It's an observation through exploration. Nice. And the title is Somewhere, Texas. Oh, nice. So I just drive. Oh, and I turn off the phone except for the music, and I just drive, and I see what I can find, and I do all of North Texas, all the way down to Mineral Wells, down into that area, and just branch off and see what stumbles. And there's so much to see in Texas, and there's so many things that, I mean, if you think about it, I've been here going on 13 years, and I don't get tired of walking the square. I do not get tired of walking the square. I could walk the square every month, every other weekend, and I will always find something to photograph. And a lot of my photographs that are my favorites of Denton are from my cell phone, obviously. Sometimes I'll take the camera out, but I never get tired of shooting. And when you just tune your eye into
lighting and, you know, reflections versus,
Exactly.
hey, where's a good shot? You know,
Mm-hmm.
you start seeing and opening up a new and different world that,
Exactly.
you know, that's just untapped.
I think one of the greatest things that UNT has given me is the formal training of what it is to compositionally take and make a good photograph. And that all comes in with line, texture, your cropping, how are you, you know, what are you centering on, you know, are your lines straight? And then what can you do in post edit to fix all
post
the
edit
things that you could
the
possibly
torture room.
Exactly. It can be.
It
yes.
can be. After
You can-
100 photos,
Oh,
everyone
yeah,
looks
you
the
can do-
same.
I know. Everyone looks great.
Yeah. And you know where every hair is and where you need to go fix it.
Exactly. So, and that's the digital aspect of it. The most recently I've been shooting and been working with a 4x5 view camera,
Yes.
which if you are listening and are not familiar with what that is, it is the old school, you know, none of this digital nonsense
Yeah,
business.
it's the pureness of it.
It is the pureness. It is what people commonly associate with artists such as Ansel Adams,
Yes.
for example. But it is, throw the cloak over the
your
head. The ground glass projects the image upside down. Everything that you need to be on the left, you've got to shift it over to the right. So, and that in itself has really taken me to the root of photography, which is it's just made me have such a better appreciation for the art of photography itself. You know, I think we get in this digital world where everyone's got a cell phone or a digital camera. So it's easy to shoot, 4,000 photos and then just, kind of ditch the ones you don't like. When you start talking in the fine art, large format aspect, it is very selective. It's it's a hands-on approach. Again, there's no battery operated.
No. And
assistance.
Do you do your own film as well? I mean, I don't even know because it was so long ago that when I was doing photography in high school, it was 4 hours a day for all 4 years. Yeah. So everything we did was, I'm there with my tank.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, yes. Oh,
You're
yes.
reeling the film.
Developing.
Literally. And just, it was just so much craziness now that I think of the advancements from that to this. But there is always a different quality in, the regular 35 millimeter or, negative film.
Exactly.
Big format and medium format cameras. The medium format camera was my favorite too because it was so unknown to me, but the clarity and everything that we were producing and stuff like that, it was just amazing.
It's captivating. It really is. Yes. And so when you look at, again, it comes back to the appreciation. So with the 4x5, it's 4-inch by 5-inch sheets of black and white film is what we shoot. And so at least at UNT, that's what we have, the chemicals in order to be able to develop the film, which in itself, aside from going out and finding it and then hoping that you don't have a light leak or hoping that something doesn't go wrong with the image that you're about to take or with the film itself, somehow early exposure or it's not enough light and then you don't. But all that aside, developing itself takes about 2.5 hours from start to letting it completely dry. And then you go into the dark room and making these prints and figuring out your max black and your max white. And so it really, I spend so much time in the dark room. Sometimes I feel like, especially when school's in session, I'm like, this is the beginning of a vampire. Like, this is
Step
how
into my realm. It's very true. I mean, you do spend a lot of time and you just kind of attune your eyes to everything and you know where everything's at. I mean, we were very fortunate to have a humongous, for a high school, it was a big compound of a lab, basically.
See, and you're so lucky. I didn't take any art classes in high school.
Oh, yeah, we did. That's what I went for.
Art exposure.
Yeah, it was the art. I mean, it's a career development school, so you go there to get trained in all of those. I mean, they had horticulture, hotel management, helicopter, aviation, photography, cinematography, and you go there for training and all of that to get licensed.
Actual trades, things that you can take beyond your traditional high school training. That is amazing.
It was a lot of fun, and I remember all of that. We did some large mural format photos on a big drum printer and whatnot, so it was a lot of fun doing that. I miss it. I wouldn't remember doing a lot of that. So
once you get back into it, I've been a studio artist. I've always been a creator. I've always been a maker. It's in the formal art training of University of North Texas that's allowed me to explore that. But this stems from my sculptural work, so I'll do sculptural paintings. I'll do things with lots of texture. I will kind of create that. So enjoy the process of making art. And for me, that's where I feel most comfortable. So if I spend 8 to 10 hours in the dark room, where I, end up getting only a handful of prints that are just perfect, to me, that's what's worth it.
It's rewarding.
That's what drives me.
And you're right, especially with the format of film, where you have to spend those 2 hours and you're waiting and you're you jump for joy when you're like, oh my God, this is it. This is the print.
Please work out. The whole time developing, it's just like, okay, here we go.
You're lovingly making that happen.
Please.
Yes,
exactly.
And no film touching. touching. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, but that's really amazing, and it's very. I mean, I'm sure there's other people, but it is rare to see people working on film and just pumping out all the work and art through it. You'll see people who dabble in it, or a lot of people like Polaroids, which is a little bit different, or a lot different, but
instantaneous.
Exactly. But it's just, there's just so much creativity, and then like you said, you get involved with all of your clients and everything. It's just different avenues of creativity.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and talk about you as an artist, as far as your artistry, because you did mention my
sculptural,
your sculptural art.
Yes, exactly. So I've been working on a series of body castings, which, again, being in Denton, love the fact that people are so open.
Yes, I would imagine.
I have a handful of really amazing individuals that trust the process of art and understand that, lay on the table and I'm going to wrap you in plaster, and we're going to let this harden. So I started this body of work actually at the last year, towards the end of the year. And now it's finally getting warmer weather, so where I'll be able to take those out and actually, pull molds out of them and then apply this, this type of texture and these types of rust paint and these different elements in order to create, a full half body, life size casting. Yeah.
So what made you get into that? Because that's a very unique artist realm, the casting, and you don't find very many casters.
Yes.
So what made you want to do that?
One of my favorite clients and one of my very best friends got his MFA in sculpture from UNT, and he graduated last semester. Or 2 semesters ago. I forget that we just had graduation.
Yes, we did.
Because I'm not there yet.
You're almost there.
Exactly. And his name is Ebonley Hall. And I run his website, and I also help him with his social media. And, when you're an artist and you're in Denton, you kind of get into this kind of exchange for services relationships.
I know that. I know that one.
Exactly. And it's like how the world was made, right? It's like fair trade.
Yes.
Like, okay, cool. Well, I will do this for you, and in turn, teach me, help me learn how to do this. And so that really came as a product of him being a client of mine. And so showing me the rope. So, here's how you can do it. And he had a few up in his own studio, and I immediately was drawn to it. I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. It's figurative. It's a little organic. It's not anything that you have to, necessarily mold out of clay. This is actually taking human form and then making, how do I do this? And so that was an agreement with us. He said, okay, well, I'll teach you how to do this. And in exchange, I said, in exchange, I'll run the website. And so again, getting into those, and that goes back to the relationships. It goes back to the community and the people and the art and the love and everything that makes Denton, and how receptive people are to working with other artists. I haven't really found anyone that's stingy with their knowledge, stingy with how you make things, or, okay, cool. Oh, you like to do that? Well, here's how you can take it a step further. Collaborations.
Oh, yeah, I'm all about that too.
We're the name of the game. Hello. Hey.
That's our inside joke, guys. It'll be coming up soon.
Exactly. Stay tuned.
Yes. Stay tuned.
But so again, it's a mixture of, having these artists that I've helped, that whether they be sculptors, whether they be painters, whether they be fellow photographers. There's always a chance to learn and be able to apply that some way creatively to your own practice. And to me, it's just something that propels me forward. And I kind of live for this. I live off of this energy of art and live music, and I love Denton. I think
Yes.
that's why I feel like I thrive here so well. And you had mentioned earlier, man, this girl is in everything.
Yes, that's how I found you.
And I kind of, again, and I found myself, and even this weekend when I saw
Yes.
you at the little pop-up show at,
Yeah.
Studio 116, I'm like,
Yes.
here we are,
It didn't surprise me. I was happy to see you, but it did not. All of us, all the energy was that same energy you're
Yes.
talking about. Every single person there, all the girls that were there and gentlemen that were
Yes.
there too. The energy was just amazing. And that's
Really, truly.
the stuff you're talking about with Denton, just being so, I always say it on the shows, it's such a nurturing environment here in Denton. And so you have the support of people willingly. It's not like pulling teeth. Maybe you run across that occasionally, but
Right.
it's not like pulling teeth here to be supported. And people are very, very willing to empower you.
Lift
to,
up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is a great thing.
I see this little comment on here from Ursula, and I love you. You're amazing. She is
Nice.
she runs our social media for University of North Texas, the College of
Nice.
Visual Arts and Design, and
Very
pleasure of
cool.
having her as a friend as well. And she also takes photographs, and she's artsy, and she's pretty amazing
She's
too.
part of the tribe, huh?
She's part of the tribe. Yes.
Hi,
She's
Ursula.
in it.
Nice
She is
to meet
in
you.
it. So thank you for your comment. Thank you for listening, paying attention. Yay!
Yeah, we're gonna have to tap into the UNT market for
Yes.
the Denton vibe. I would love to
Absolutely.
get connected with students, professors.
Absolutely.
So I might be looking to you
Yes.
and Ursula.
Yes. Oh, we definitely
Yeah,
we
we're
can make
always
that
looking
happen.
for fresh faces here. I would love to do that, and actually that is something I really have been wanting to do with
Yeah.
the Denton vibe. So we're
Perfect.
gonna have
Well,
to talk after the show.
UNT is just, it
Yeah.
allows for so many different opportunities and different paths, whether
Mm-hmm.
you are a musician. And of course, we've got our great, sciences and
Mm-hmm.
all of the other side of the campus that I've never been to. But I know that it exists, but I've never been there.
Maybe you should go on a photo walk on that side of campus. It would be a
Exactly,
world of
exact-
discovery.
I found this little amphitheater like one
Oh,
time
yeah?
when it's just like this little outdoor little seating area. I'm like by some sciences building, and it blows my mind. But UNT they really do take good care of their facilities, and we're getting a new art building that's been in process. So
nice.
that's a nice, I believe, $75 million
Oh my gosh.
investment. Oh my
I
gosh, it
can't
blows
keep up
my
with
mind.
UNT. There's so many buildings going up. I'm like,
So-
is that parking or is
Yeah.
that housing or is that
Yes.
a new whole facility altogether?
Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
growing.
So next semester I will be for the first time in the new art building.
Oh,
so the new
fun.
photo lab and
Oh,
everything.
wow.
So fancy.
Yeah, that is exciting. Anytime
is
you get anything
exciting.
new at
Oh,
yeah.
yes, give me,
Yes,
get shiny.
Yes.
My favorite color. Yes. It really
Shiny
is.
and brand new.
Yeah, exactly.
This
I
is
love
mine.
it. Yes, mine.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
So, but anyhow, yeah, it really is. It's been a lot of fun. So, yeah, going back to, again, it's the photography, it's the sculptural elements that can make this. It's a never ending. I feel like art mirrors life, and there is. Where you are now is not where you're going to end up. And there is only beginnings and endings and everything in between. And
It's
then,
cyclical.
you get a little older and you start realizing, quickly
Oh yeah.
that, where your relationships really do matter. And the people that support you really, like you said, your tribe, right? You find that you start clinging to those, and then they start clinging to you. So I'm very grateful for the Denton community.
Yes,
for
I would agree
taking
with
me
you.
in.
Yes, definitely. And I do want to point out that this is one of her pieces that she gifted me. So
Oh.
I am so.
I don't know where the cameras are.
Here it is, guys.
Oh, hi.
It's right there. This is a Little Chaos. And
Yes.
Stephanie gifted this to me, and I'm so thankful because I do love having my friends' artwork
Yes.
in my presence, and I do love it. Thank you so much. And it's got so much texture and pretty colors, and of course there's shiny
Yes.
glittery things in there. So
That is
thank you for
must
Little
have.
Chaos. I love it. And you also, let's talk about this book. You
Yes.
have a beautiful book in here.
Yes. So I
I'll
took
let you-
my
story time, guys.
story time.
with Stephanie and
Stephanie.
Ellie. Go ahead.
Exactly. So this is my
this
first
one.
book to publish.
It's beautiful.
There are others available. Just hit me up on the DM,
Sorry.
and we can get all that squared away. But the name of the book is Skewed and Scattered, and I took a different approach where I've been shooting with large format film. With this, I'll just kind of show you a couple of examples. I've taken my digital photography into the world of Photoshop, the magical world of where you can create anything, and have really manipulated these. Each one of these images is a series of anywhere between 3 to 4 photos of very intimate objects that hold significant value to me, as well as places. Yes.
Is this a bee, or what is that, a grasshopper?
No.
Well, what, I see an animal or an insect in here.
What else do you see? Nope, there are no bugs in that.
No bugs?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
It's playing.
It's beading.
I see beads here. I was just, okay, I see it now.
Yes.
It's the dress beading.
Yes.
Okay. And there's other beading in it.
Yes. And so I found with this, it really was freeing to take my digital photos and then put them in this abstract world to where things can just be created, and kind of a controlled chaos, if you will, and just allowing
little chaos,
exactly.
Controlled chaos, different stuff.
Exactly. Guys. And you know, the whole bookmaking process was really fun to go through.
This one's my favorite.
Is it?
Yeah, because it reminds me of my mother. She has these little flowers in her.
Yes.
I mean, they look like flowers unless you tell me they're dinner plates or
No.
something. But they are flowers. They remind me of my mom.
Those are there's definitely flowers in here.
Hi, Mom. Just thought I'd throw that out
Hi,
there.
Mom. Yes, you know, and then you get these intense, again, these really intense designs. So taking and evolving, I feel like it's been such a fun practice for me to take these little nuggets and just run with it. And one of my greatest influences in art, actually just retired as head of the UNT sculpture department after 40 plus years.
Oh, wow.
Richard Davis. I do his website, richarddavis.com, if you would like to check out his work. Check out his work. He's an amazing sculptor, but he had this analogy early on that I heard.
It's beautiful too.
And he said, you know, when you think of your process of creating art, imagine this tree, and then wherever direction you're going, take yourself out on that branch and then stop, and then see where else that branch goes, and then stop, and then see where else that branch grows. And what you start with as an initial concept very rarely is your final project. So don't be afraid to go out on these limbs. Don't be afraid to push these branches. And I learned so much from him, and from, you know, my photography instructors, Paho Man, and of course my teachers that have been along with me, Rachel Cox, and a couple of other you know, folks there at UNT, Dornith Daughtry, who is our head professor of the photography department, all very inspirational. So, you know, you get not only the formal aspect of training in photography, but then you get to learn how to really apply these. And so
it's wonderful that your teachers end up being your inspirations.
Absolutely.
And just being your mentors, all rolled up in one. And this is a beautiful book.
Thank you.
And I love the feel of it. It's very silky and very creamy. And I do mean that. It's a very soft book.
Yes, and it's the lay flat pages. It is a true, you know, and it's large. It's a 12-inch by 12-inch square. So it's definitely the first of many coffee books, coffee table
would be
books.
Perfect on a coffee table. I like the square too.
Yes.
You know, I'm partial to squares.
When we were talking on Sunday and you said square, I was like, oh, she's going to love my book.
Yes, it's a beautiful book. So, I mean, it's very different too, and it's eye-catching. So you guys check it out. Go to her website.
And I'm looking forward. I've been actually exploring different options to take some of my prints that I've created and put those on scarves.
Oh,
and maybe even wallpaper, or maybe even, you know, and really taking it and not just limiting it to a single aspect, but seeing how else I can grow. So
I've actually seen some fellow art workers or artists have done it on scarves.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, we have fans outside.
Hello.
Hi guys.
Hello, familiar
How
faces.
Are y'all? I love it. Kisses to you guys.
Yes, I love you. Thank you.
Amanda Sweet and Labrie. Thank you for visiting us through the window.
Absolutely.
You look gorgeous, doll.
Again, Denton, right here. All love. All love.
You guys, Amanda will be on the show soon, too. So you guys check her out in a future show date.
Absolutely.
Oh, that was exciting.
That was exciting.
That was the first time I turned my head on my own show.
We
my
have
goodness,
fans.
I need that one. I'm like, goodness, I never get any tapping on the windows other than in front. But that's pretty exciting.
That's pretty cool.
Today is a benchmark day here on the Denton Vibe.
It is. It is. So, but yeah, you know, there's tons of different, you know, obviously art opportunities here. You and I actually will be together again very soon.
Very
coming
short.
up.
In 10 days, I believe,
10 days.
or something like that.
Yeah, less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we're, of course, I'm part of the Artist Enclave of Denton County, which has been a really fun organization. You know, Miss Susan Davis.
Yeah,
she
she's
is
amazing.
an incredible human being.
Yes,
How
she's
she
a beautiful
does
soul.
everything she does, it's like an inspiration.
Hi, Susan. I gotta say hi to you again. she's just like a jack of all trade queen.
I know.
She is in
telling
everything
you, she
too.
is the queen bee.
Yes, she
I
is.
love her. I love her to death. But yeah, so you know, we're putting up the eclectic pop-up show that's going to be at the new Studio E.
Studio E, guys. You all keep hearing that for a reason. Go check it out. And they just had a show. It was the what was it called with Elijah Heath?
Yes, I love him.
I walked
He's
in,
a friend of mine too.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
I walked into that place when they were setting it all up to drop something off, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
It was like an art installation, just a dream. It was beautiful. And if you get a chance, go check out some of the photos on Studio E's website. I'm not kidding. I don't think I've seen anything like that in Denton. So I believe, if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Ratsnays is a collective group as well that did the installation.
Okay.
And if you go to Ratsnays on Facebook and Instagram, you will see their work. And it was all neon lit. It was beautiful. I mean, I was like, whoa, I feel like Alice in Wonderland down here.
I'm so excited about Studio E. They've already been so supportive and so promising for the Denton community to have a place where we can gather and we can do things with art and with music, and it be that very gallery vibe, but also very Denton.
It is very gallery and very Denton down there. And the girls are amazing. We had them on here last week, Cynthia
awesome.
and Suni.
Yes.
So hi, girls. Cynthia,
Hi.
Suni, Studio E.
We will see you in less than 2 weeks.
Yes, we're going to invade your space.
Get ready for it. Yes. So that's going to be a fun event. So the show or the art will be available for purchase on that Saturday, open noon to 10, I believe, and that's June the 2nd. But our preview night and all things greatness.
Yay! The preview will be with Lost Poet Lounge, so we get the privilege and honor of having the artist from the Artist Enclave for the event on June 2nd. They're going to have their photographs or art pieces featured on the night of our event, and which is just amazing that we can collaborate like that and just have support of you guys and vice versa. So you'll get a sneak peek and preview of those artists at Lost Poet Lounge, which is June 1st, and we'll be there at 8 o'clock on, and we'll have Shadowbox Poetry. So they will be performing in a shadow box, and I encourage anyone to come out and watch this. If you're a beginner, you want to get into the poetic scene and you're kind of nervous about it, depending on the reaction we get with Shadowbox, we might do it again. As far as it would be a great time for a beginner to start because of the nerves. Kind of puts that little filter in there, but also it allows us to get creative and a little bit and colorful.
It is. Again, this is an open-armed community. So don't, I know as an artist, I mean, I still deal with the anxiety, and I still deal with having to like, oh my gosh, do I really want to put, are people going to like this? Are people going to like me? And at some point you just have to, again, find that branch and then take it just a couple of steps further. And so, yes, if you're on the fence about whether or not to, sign up or to, put yourself out there, just do it. That's, people ask me, what's the key to being, a good artist? What's that? How do you do it? I'm like, you just keep doing it.
You produce out of the box
keep
too.
Doing it.
Keep doing it. And
sometimes you fail.
and you have to.
And exactly.
You have to fail to know what's right.
Exactly. And if you're afraid of the fail, then you'll never get, what is the saying? It's like, you can't get where you've never been by doing things you've never done. Always done.
Yes.
Exactly. That's all of those inspirational quotes. But, I think, again, as a community, we're really open, and this is a great place to start.
Yes.
Even if this takes you to New York or it takes you to Paris or it takes you above and beyond, Denton as a hub is an amazing community.
And it does. There are people that are oh, they're not here anymore. They went on their tour. Or they're not here anymore. They're now doing stuff in New York. It's very common to hear those success stories.
Exactly.
So never underestimate, and go out on that limb and get out of that box, our comfort zone. Even, as an artist and a photographer and whatever else I do, you do have to challenge yourself and say, I'm scared to do this, because we're all afraid of what people are going to think.
Yep.
But then you get to the point where you're like, I don't care. This is me. This is my growth. And eventually you're going to find your path. You're going to find yourself in your art. And it's just it's an amazing experience when you finally get to the point where you're like, this is who I am. Yep. Here I am, world.
The things that I love the most at this point in time, I was terrified of.
Yes. I understand that. I loved to sing when I was younger, and I went to classes in school and took private lessons, and I did all that stuff, and I never once got on stage, and it was because of the fear. Yeah. And now that I'm older, I'm like, I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care. I don't care what I sound like.
Does somebody say stage? Is that why you have a microphone?
Yes. Yes. That's why I wanted to be on the radio, because one day I'm just going to do karaoke on the Denton Vibe, and Jake is going to have to understand where that came from.
Yes, he's shaking his head. That's approval. Great. We've got
approval. He said, yes, guys. We're going to do karaoke on the Denton Vibe. You're here, too. Oh, well, we have had performances out in our,
that's true.
With MTD. We had some impromptu performances out
with
there.
Alina Cardenas, that played Evita.
And with Mrs.
Christian Houston.
Yes, but also with
Jen Peace. Yes, our president of Music Theater of Denton.
They're all talented.
And she is actually, I'll do a quick plug for her. She is going to be part of Calendar Girls.
Is she really?
Yes, one of the leads. So yes, so everyone check out Campus Theater. Figure out what's going on. There's tons of events.
It was because of that performance she did in here.
Exactly.
They heard her and they're like, we have to have her.
Yeah, that's the thing about us theater folks. We're kind of hams.
Oh, I know. Somebody got me to perform out there, and I was like, what? I don't know where that came from. It was about being around y'all. Y'all got me to sing that night. It was embarrassing.
Yes, I know. Oh, well, it's so much fun. Again, it's really fun. And, for us, for MTD, we've got Hunchback of Notre Dame, and that's coming in October. And auditions are the 6th and the 7th of August. So musictheaterofdenton.com, and you can figure out all of that information. But if you are a performer, this cast is huge. The choir is over 30 people alone, plus leads. So
perfect for October. What a great pairing of timing.
Exactly.
That's going to be really fun.
Oh my gosh, and I'm just so excited. I love every time we roll out the next season. I'm just like kind of chomping at the bit, which I guess is good because I do all of the public relations.
I'm glad you're happy about your job.
I really am. So yes, it's going to be an amazing. Our director for that, everyone, the production team has already been set. Everything, the scenery is going to be awesome. The costumes,
I can't wait.
We do it right.
Yeah, I know you do. Yes. So let's talk about how to get a hold of you guys on all of these levels, because we have you as MTD, we have you as STEPHiAM, and we have you as the artist with your sculpting and whatnot. So let's plug your
plug.
Yes.
Okay, plug number 1.
There you go.
Thin Line Fest. thinlinefest.us. Of course, that happens every April, so you just missed it this year, but hang on to your hats because you never know what they're going to release, and all the lineup with the film and the music and the photography exhibitions. That is just amazing. Of course, Music Theater of Denton, which is their address, musictheaterofdenton.com, and that will connect you to anything and everything that the theater is happening. Exactly, yes. And I have made sure of that because I run the website.
Very good.
So all of that's concise. We're good there. In terms of me, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and it's all under the STEPHiAM artist handle. So I'm fairly easy to find. Or of course you can find me also at STEPHiAM.com, and that has links to all of my social media handles as well as portfolios and other client work that I've done, and kind of mixes, I'm constantly mixing this, art, with fine art, with commercial, with collaborations, with friendships. And so it kind of has become this really beautiful blooming flower, if you will, that just continues to grow and grow and grow with the support of the community. That's how, and great friends and getting to meet new people and really being influenced by these amazing folks around me. So I give Denton as much credit as, or more than what I give myself, because they've really allowed me to bloom and to grow, and it's been a fantastic experience. And the ride has just started. It will continue and continue.
I know it will.
Sure.
You've got a lot ahead of you that you're going to tackle, and a lot of stuff that you're ready to show the world.
Yes.
And it's just so much stuff. And speaking of which, you are hanging some of your prints for sale at the Artist Enclave on June 2nd.
Exactly. I'll have 8x10 framed of the silver gelatin, the actual from the dark room, ladies and gentlemen, from the old dark room of UNT before the new one gets unveiled for next semester.
Nice. So the last series from the old building.
This is the last. So get it while you can. Hot, hot, hot.
There you go. Definitely. And you got to consider that stuff. Yeah. These are the last prints from the old art building.
Yes.
Those things mean stuff to us guys. We're in Denton, I
know. And sometimes that's the, when you create it, sometimes it's hard to let go of it. Yes. But I've gotten better because my art has art now. Yeah. So I've got.
You're multiplying. Just add water, right?
Exactly. So, and then I always, the way that I think about this is like, but if I hold on to it, then only I can enjoy it.
Exactly.
When other people when it gets brought into your home or to your office or into your personal space where you visually see it, that's when I know my art has grown. That's how I know that I'm getting to the next level.
That's awesome, Stephanie. I'm so happy for you. So I'm so glad that you were here with us, and I'm so glad that Artist Enclave is sharing the stage with us literally at Studio E. So we want to make sure that everybody knows about that. If you want more information about that, you can obviously contact them for Artist Enclave at Artist Enclave on Facebook, right?
Yes.
If you want to perform at any of our events for Lost Poet Lounge, you can always contact me at lostpoetlounge@gmail. You can find us on Facebook, and you can find us on Instagram by that name as well. Other than that, thank you so much for being here. I had so much fun talking to you.
You guys are amazing. No, I really appreciate, so many times I'm on the other side of the glass.
I know.
So I get to sit down. That was fun.
It was such a pleasure to have you here, Stephanie. Thank you for my beautiful gift. This is going to be very well placed in my art. Oh, they're cheering for us, y'all. Oh my gosh, we have a parade out there.
Denton famous, y'all. Denton famous.
There you go. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on the Denton Vibe with Diva Girl Ellie here on DentonRadio.com. You guys have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicOfDenton.com.